how y'all doing? So we're going to be going over the price action on ES today. I'm going to go over a few different setup, one that I posted in chat and another one that I saw a little bit later on. So ES, let's start here. So we're going to go to the free Discord chat. Again, if any of you want to join that Discord chat, there will be a link to that in the video description. So here is the free Discord chat. I said drawing to that 4-hour buy side. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is it's going to draw up. Drawing mean it's going to draw up higher, draw up to take out those buy stops. That's what I mean. Okay, it's going to draw higher to take out those buy stops. Okay, because that's liquidity, and price does what? It's always searching. Price is always searching for that next key liquidity pool. There it was, and I knew that's what we were drawing towards. Or I knew that was likely what we were drawing towards. Let me watch my language. All right, so let's go to the charts. So when we're trading futures, it's best to focus on a few different times here. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and so basically 8:30 a.m. Eastern time to 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time is really all you need. And you can also trade power hour as well if that's your thing, but I'm mainly talking about the morning session here. So why do we focus on 8:30 first? What's special about 8:30? Well, 8:30 is when the news embargo lifts. Okay, so that's when we got news that comes out. And we did have some high impact news this morning as well. The days that you don't have news on ES, like when there's like no high impact news or nothing, well then it's really no use of watching 8:30 then, right? If there's no major news, then it's best to wait on 9:30. I'm not saying you can't get trades before, like in pre-market, like earlier before the opening bell, before equity open. You can, and I've posted setups in the chat beforehand as well. But really the best time to trade, and the only time that you really need, is it's like the first 30 minutes, really 9:30 to 10, but to 11 o'clock. From 9:30 to 11 on the days that you don't have news, that's all you need. That's all you need. 9:30 to 11. Okay, on the days you got news, obviously you want to keep an eye on it, and then that'll be 8:30 to 11. So today we had news, and that's what we're going to be going over. All right, so we've already identified where that draw on liquidity is. I'm going to mark it right here. Here it is, just displayed on a 15-minute chart now. Here's that big liquidity pool, that 4-minute buy side liquidity pool right there. See that? That's what we were drawing towards. Okay, and some of you might be wondering, like, let me rewind a little bit here. Let me rewind a little bit here. So you might be wondering, for some of you, okay, Mike, but this is operating within a bearish market structure all the way down here. And when it was retracing up within this range, Mike, I mean, wouldn't that be a premium marketplace? That's just based on what you taught me, Mike. That would be a premium if we take this high. If we take this high to this low, that's above 50% equilibrium. So why did you think that? Why did you think that it was going to draw up into this and take out these buy stops when this is operating within a bearish market structure? This is pulled back up into a premium marketplace. So what's the deal? Well, there's a few other things you got to consider here. So we're going to break it down. What did we recently take out on the daily chart? We recently took out a very big liquidity pool. This is a daily sell side liquidity pool, a very large liquidity pool there. We purged that level, took it out of the marketplace, right? And you got to understand, price is always searching for that next key liquidity pool. We took out that liquidity pool. We took it out of the marketplace, daily discount after we took out that significant liquidity pool. That daily liquidity pool is a more significant liquidity pool than that 4-hour. Okay, the daily higher time frame, typically the higher the time frame is going to trump that lower time frame. So we took out that daily liquidity pool. And then this is also key as well. Something key to note here is, how did price trade down into that level there? See how it's kind of lethargic? It's kind of a lethargic move into that level. That's not explosive. That's not an explosive move lower. Okay. That's a very lethargic move lower, taking out not only this liquidity pool, but this big liquidity pool, this low right here, took out that daily liquidity pool, very lethargic move. So we took out that liquidity out of the marketplace. What's that next key liquidity pool it's going to search for? I mean, it doesn't make sense for it to just, retrace into a premium here and sell off. Like, there's nothing in here. There's no imbalance. Now, if there was an imbalance, if this move right here was a very big, strong move lower, leaving a big displacement, then that would be a much more likely scenario that we could see it, come up higher and then get another leg lower. Like something like this. See this right here? See how we have like this big displacement right here? If you look at my cursor, see how price like retraced up within that range into a premium and then sold off. If we had something like that, but over here, then that would be a more likely scenario if, to catch a sell off. But this is, compare that to this. Compare that and compare that one's that as well. Big displacement, lethargic displacement right before taking out a significant liquidity pool in a discount marketplace. Okay, so that's why I figured. And also, even like this hasn't been filled completely at that time. It was not filled completely, so that's still serving as a draw. See that fair value gap in there? That was still serving as a draw as well. So you can kind of see how we're putting all these puzzles together, one thing after another, right? Now it could have pulled back into a premium and sold off. This is trading, guys. Anything can happen. You got to accept that. That's part of trading. But more likely than not, what was the scenario going to be? It was going to attack these buy stops for all of the reasons that I just mentioned. Okay, that's what it was drawn to take out. Now we're going to go to our lower time frame, and we're going to talk about, because now we've identified the draw. That was the draw that I had my eyes on this morning. We've identified that. We've identified why it was drawn up into that level. Now we're going to pinpoint some lower time frame setups from this morning. The first one I'm going to talk about is one that I did not post in chat because I had my focus elsewhere over in Forex. But when I opened up my charts, like right away, I saw it. I saw the setup, and it's straight out of ICT's 2020 mentorship. It's that model that he talked about in that series. So for any of you that maybe trade that strategy, or you're maybe studying it right now, this will be interesting to you. So there's that drawn liquidity. Now I'll just display it on a 15-minute chart, and here's where that news came out. You kind of see where this candle got kind of wild in here, very wicky. That's where that news came out. Okay, so we had that drawn liquidity, and this is the news. This big wick lower, think of that like your Judas swing, right? We went over Judas swings plenty of times in the past. And also that news, a lot of times that news will be, the first move will be a fake, it'll be the fake move, okay? So in this case, we had a fake move lower to take out these sell stops, okay? See this 15-minute swing point, because as he advised, use the 15-minute, there's a 15-minute swing low level. What is resting beneath swing low levels? Sell side liquidity, sell stops, okay? The news, it took those sell stops out of the marketplace. And remember, don't forget, we still have the strong liquidity that has not been tapped into yet. Price is still drawn up into that. And now we combine it with the fact that we have this news, taking out the sell side liquidity. What's next though? Because we've already concluded at this point, we got the stop run. Okay, our bias is bullish for the day because we have that draw. That's why our bias is bullish. This is the stop run. Now we need to go to a lower time frame. See if we got that confirmation. I believe you got it on the one. So this is a 5-minute, but I remember looking at the 1-minute chart, and you had it on the 1-minute chart as well. I think you might have got a little bit sooner on the 1-minute chart, but right here is just a beautiful example because you also got that 5-minute order block in there as well. So right here, you see this big dump right here. News came out, stop run right after. What happened? It was a fake run. It did not hold. That dip did not hold. It was a fake run because the sole intention of that dip was to take out those sell stops. Right after taking out those sell stops, what happened? Boom. Big displacement to the upside, leaving your fair value gap confirmation, which is key as well. See that? See how you created that fair value gap right there? And see how you have a bullish order block in there serving as support. There's your bullish order block, fair value gap, trades down, finds support off that order block, rebalances that price action, and what happens? Well, we draw up into that imbalance, or we draw up into that, take out those buy stops. I mean, very, very clean play. Very, very clean play on that one. Okay, and this is one that I've actually posted in chat, and it was after it had taken out that liquidity pool. Now you might be thinking, well, doesn't that worry you? If it took out such a huge liquidity pool, Mike, like why are you still interested in buying that if it took out that huge liquidity pool? Aren't you worried it's going to retrace on you? I'm not, because I'm listening to the price. It could have, and that's fine. It could have done that, and that's fine. Why? Because, well, if you are a knowledgeable trader, you know what you're doing. Well, you know how to manage risk. You have your psychology under control. You know how to manage your emotions. So we're fine with being wrong. We're gonna play. We're gonna play the chart that's in front of us. We're gonna play what we see. And if you do that, if you play what you see, many times you're well rewarded for playing what you see by not fighting the trend. Because this thing was just, I mean, it's been strong all day. There's plenty of people that were trying to short this to find the top, and they get burned over and over and over again because they saw the same thing that we were seeing over there. They saw it take out that high. Okay, they saw it test that bearish order block on the 4-hour chart. All right, a lot of us, we saw that, but we didn't have any lower time frame displacement off of that level, and that's key. And that's where a lot of people, they get messed up, is they try to predict what's going to happen. We don't predict. We react to whatever price does. We adapt to whatever price does. If price doesn't give a reaction, well, then you got no trade. You got no short. That's what a lot of you need to understand. I'll draw out these levels and I just wait. I'll draw out these levels and I'll wait for a reaction. I had that 4-hour bearish order block noted this morning. I had that liquidity pool noted this morning. I even typed in chat, keep an eye out for that purge and revert off that 4-hour buy side. We never got the displacement, and that's fine. You got to listen to price. You got to listen to what it's telling you. Okay, if it's saying it's bullish and there's no signs of weakness, believe it. Believe it, play it, manage risk. You're going to save yourself a lot of money by doing that. So let's go to that setup that I was talking about. So right here, you can see I posted it at 9:56 a.m. Eastern time. I said possible scalp long, equal highs, and still no weakness at the moment, which we just went over. Play what you see. No weakness, that means it's very bullish. We want to be buying. Cleaned out is what I meant. Cleaned out 1 minute sell stops, pulled back into short-term discount. So this was right after like first 30 minutes. So right here, you see this? This is that pullback that I put in chat. All right, so why is this interesting? Because again, you know, for some of you might be thinking that's too expensive. That's too expensive. And I used to think like that a lot as well. But again, listen to price. So these are those sell stops. Let's zoom in, because we're going to be going over everything that I just mentioned. These sell stops right here. Okay, you can see our price. It was moving up. It was moving up. It was moving up. Look at my cursor. Look at my cursor. It was moving up. It pulled back. It pulled back, and now it's starting to rally up higher. It's starting to make a new high. Right. Breakout buyers are piling in it. They're putting their sell stops. Where do you think they're putting their sell stops? Right beneath this low. And what happens? Takes out those sell stops. Takes them out of the marketplace. That's what we want, right? And it pulls back into a what? This is important as well. Take this low prior to that surge up higher. It pulls back into a discount marketplace. We pull back into a discount marketplace. We trade down into a fair value gap right here. See this? See that fair value gap right there? See that? Discount marketplace, taking out liquidity right here, trading down into a fair value gap. Very strong, no signs of weakness whatsoever on this thing. And that was the reason. And then it came up. Oh, and also one more thing. Whenever you got this criteria, this is beautiful to see if you're taking a long play like right here. Relative equal highs. That you love seeing that. You love seeing that if you're getting a long. Okay, and you love seeing relative equal lows whenever you got a short on, because very clean levels like that usually aren't left like that for long. And then we combine that with the fact that, well, we're tapping into this imbalance. We cleaned out these sell stops, discount marketplace, no signs of weakness on it. It's still very strong. I mean, it's a nice play. And then it came up, took out those sell stops, or took out those buy stops, and the rest is history.